All right, so now today we are gonna walk you through the top 5 things a two-hander needs to know about their game and where they can improve to increase their average. So we're gonna work our way from the foul line all the way back, and that means that the first thing we're gonna talk about is gonna be the release. So this is my release. I'm gonna go through a full approach and show you the release, and then we'll show you guys some drills and some tips that you can do to get your hand releasing the ball the correct way. So one of like the common mistakes of two-handers is a lot of them tend to just know that immediately from the day that they pick up the ball two-handed, they can hook it. Hooking it is not the issue. The problem is the way that they like to hook it, which the way that they like to hook it a lot of times is getting a lot of rotation on the ball and getting their hand around the side of the ball. So I like to get my hand a little up the back or in this up the back position where I'm really rolling the ball end over end instead of rolling the ball and spinning it sideways. So I'll show you guys what the mistake that I see a lot of people make, and the release that they have is just like this. And this is gonna be the inappropriate release, the ineffective release, or the amateur type release, where it's a lot of rotation. The ball is gonna be spinning like this on the side of the ball instead of their hand being up the back and releasing it this way. So this is the ineffective release. And you can see, even though I threw it like 5 miles an hour, it still didn't hook until it was all the way down the lane, where if I rolled it, it would hook a little earlier in the appropriate part of the lane, make a smoother reaction, and allow you to strike a little more. So instead of getting your hand on the side of the ball, I'll show you guys what I want you to focus on here. When you roll the ball the appropriate way and you get your hand up the back of the ball, it's actually gonna hook just as much. It's just gonna hook in a little different way. And yeah, it might not snap down lane and send a million messengers. However, it's gonna allow you to split a lot less and thus increase your average a ton. And this is a drill that I use. Just no step at the foul line, swinging it and making sure your hand is in that like up the back sort of release, right? Just like this. I'm gonna stand just as if I was finishing, and I'm going to just practice that swing and then put my hand on the ball and start swinging the ball and releasing right up the back. And that wasn't the appropriate ball roll, obviously, but I'm really just working on getting my hand as up the back as possible, almost like I'm shooting a spare shot. So it's almost to feel that spare type of release and knowing that if I throw a reactive bowling ball or a urethane bowling ball, it's still gonna hook. And one of the things to make that release a little easier and a little more consistent is gonna be balance at the foul line, which is my tip number 2. I'm gonna show you guys what I see a lot of amateurs doing and what I see a lot of new two-handers doing, and something that you can improve on just with maybe a little focus and a little practice. I'll reset the pin so you guys can see when you throw it bad, it always strikes. As I said, it always strikes when you throw it bad. Obviously, I fell off balance. Basically, I used my whole body to throw the ball and get my ball down the lane, so I ended up stepping off right away. All right, so there's 2 ways I practice my balance. One is me throwing a shot at half speed, going very slow and just making sure that I'm able to post my shot and my entire body is on balance and in line with itself. And the second way is I go and throw 20 shots, a full game, every single frame, 2 shots. I throw 20 shots of me posting it all the way until my ball hits the pins, just as a mental reminder that I need to post my shot the whole time the ball is on the lane. This one's gonna be a good one right here. All right, so when I come in and I'm working on my physical game, I do my release drill, I do my balance drill, and then the third thing that I do, tip number 3, is gonna be that stable upper body position, making sure my head is still and my upper body is quiet. And when I mean quiet, I mean my body's not moving around. There's not a lot of, jerking it up or to the side or anything like that. It's just a very smooth at the release, not a lot of extra movement going on. To practice this one, I'm gonna throw my shot half speed, working only on my head and upper body stability, and that's it. I don't care where the ball goes, I don't care what I hit on the lanes, I'm only working on head and upper body stability. Again, just making sure that when I come to the line, everything is gonna be straight in line, no extra movement, not this, just an extra stable at the line release, just like your favorite bowler, Chris Prather.
You heard him say it, one good one, right lane, Prather has it.
So we're using a lot of hand-eye coordination to hit our target on the lane. And if I can't see my target because my head's moving around, it makes it a lot harder to find my target and to hit it consistently, which is what we're all about. This is gonna be a different angle of another half-speed shot. Once again, only working on upper body and head stability here. Again, I'm not worrying about anything that goes on down lane, just what I'm working on right here, which is upper body and head stability. So tip number 4 is going to be two-handed footwork. Again, working our way back from the foul line, very literally this time, I'm going to take 4.5 steps back because I use a 5-step approach. I'm going to take 4.5 steps back from the foul line to figure out the appropriate distance for me to stand on a normal speed shot. So here we go. And again, it's going to be very regular, like I'm walking down the street steps. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then probably a half step. And now I ended up right in between the 2 sets of dots at 4.5 steps back. So now that I'm 4.5 steps back, I'm at the appropriate starting place. I'm gonna tell you guys a tip that Belmo told me, and it's exactly how I work on footwork, and that is keeping the same pace from the first step of your approach to the end of your approach. You don't wanna speed it up at the end or slow it down at the end. That increases the inconsistencies of your approach. So you want a nice flow that's the same speed from the start all the way to the foul line. So I'm gonna show you guys a good and a bad shot of a consistent speed as well as a very inconsistent speed when it comes to the two-handed game. So really, and when I say consistency, I'm really talking about that hop step and making sure if you have a skip or a hop step in your approach, because a lot of two-handers like myself, like Belmo, like Osku, a lot of us have that hop step in the approach, making sure that that hop step isn't like a stop and starting point, but it's more of just a continuation of the steps that I've already taken in my approach. So this is an example of what I've seen a lot of amateurs do, and a lot of amateurs really struggle with getting that flow. So I'm gonna show you guys a version of that, and then I'll talk about how you can work on fixing it yourself. That felt horrible. I've never done that before, but I see a lot of amateurs take that almost like a very abbreviated stutter step where the approach stops and then starts again. When you see a bowler described as like smooth or fluid or anything like that, the number one reason that they're described as that is because their footwork is at a nice, smooth, and consistent pace. You don't see a lot of choppy footwork with the top level pros. You see a lot of consistency, smooth pace with a very good flow to their footwork. All right, so tip number 5 is going to be having a consistent push away. It might not be the most important on this list, but it is important to keep it consistent, the exact same every single time, just like a lot of the other things on this list. When I practice my push away, I don't even throw a shot. I actually just practice the first 3 or 4 steps of my approach, and then I stop right away, reset, do it again. I could do this drill at home a million times a day and never have to worry about breaking anything, paying money to practice. This is the easiest one to practice at home. I'm gonna practice holding the ball at a comfortable height, not down here, not up here, but somewhere in the middle that just feels comfortable to me. And then on that second step, when my left leg moves, for you righties, once your right leg starts moving, if a 5-step approach, when my left leg starts to move, so does the ball. Here we go. 1, 2. And then that's it. That's literally all I practice. It's just 2 steps, maybe 3, and then I just stop. Again, this is why it's so easy to practice. I don't need a lane. I don't need an approach. I'm not practicing sliding. I'm just practicing the push away. So here we go. One more time for you guys. 1, 2, 3. It's not important how big your push away is, how small your push away is. Again, it's just important to keep your push away consistent. All right, so if you guys want to work on your physical game, or you want to work on the two-handed bowling technique, whether you're a beginner or a very advanced bowler, what I do when I come in and something that you guys can do, again, practice that release for a couple shots, practice your balance, your stability, practice your footwork, and then practice your push away, all just for a couple shots at a time. Maybe you're focusing on one thing a little longer, but practice a couple at a time, and then at the very end, piece it all together and just bowl. Don't think about all 5 things at once. Piece each one individually, and that's how you can improve your game the quickest. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you want more tips and tricks, we have a coaching group. Just click that join button down below. Tier 2 members, we link to our Facebook group, and then we have a coaching tips and tricks where we give tips and tricks consistently throughout the month, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. We give plenty of tips, tricks, and extra videos if you guys want to click that link down below and join our Tier 2 coaching membership. And for all you other guys who don't want to do that, thanks for watching. Let's grow our games together.